this is, when you do vocabulary for me, and all of your vocabulary packets are going to look a lot like this. This one's got 14 words on it. Some of them have more, some of them have less. There are 3 different sort of columns for each word, or boxes for each word. Whoops. So you have the vocabulary word itself, and then you have box A, box B, and box C. And you'll notice up here that it says you have to do A first. So box A is anything that you recognize in this word. It's really, the point is kind of to get you thinking about prefixes and suffixes. But if you haven't formally thought about those, you can also say, well, this is, this is a word I think I know, and you can try to define it. You can say, oh, well, I know another word that sounds very similar to this, and you can write that down. And the goal is to see basically what you can build the doc on. What's already in there. So actually we'll do the second one first. We'll do reproduce. Nope. The instructions for box A are to look for anything in this word you recognize. If you see a prefix in this word, underline it. If you see a prefix in the word reproduce, underline it. To produce. To make. So I've got reproduce. To make again? That's kind of what that's sounding like based on what we know those 2 pieces of the word mean. Now, your instructions for part B. Your instructions for part B are to come up with a dictionary/glossary definition of the word. You have to copy the whole thing. You do have to copy it completely. If there's more than one definition, and for some words there are, for some words there will be 3 or 4 definitions, is the one that you're copying in a scientific context, in a biological context, because some words have a common usage and a scientific usage. This is where you may or may not want to use your biology book. You can use dictionary.com, and all of you have access to the wide webby world out there. You can use a dictionary program. You can use the glossary in the biology book. For most of these words, I think you can probably get a good definition using just a dictionary site. If you want to look at word origins, you can look at the etymology dictionary. We'll look at that together. So, for each word, do part A, then do part B. Do not do all the part A's and then all the part B's. Do part A, then do part B. Do part A and do part B. Do part A, then do part B. Do part A and do part B. Do part A and you get the picture. So, questions, comments, concerns. Is anybody thinking, well, when am I going to do box C? Anybody wondering about that? You're not going to do box C until after we talk about it. So the goal here, remember, we're building a dock and we're tying your canoe to it. Box A is seeing what we can build the dock on. Maybe starting construction or getting materials. Box B is having all the materials and being ready to assemble the dock and maybe assembling it. Part C, after we've talked about that concept and now you have context, is tying the boat to the dock so that it's connected to something that you've already done. Because I want a lot of these words to become things that are just familiar to you, that you can use, because that's the only way that you build new brain connections, and that's the only way they become part of your brain. So, you're only doing part A and part B. Part A and part B for all 14 words is due tomorrow. You should be able to get a lot of it done here in class. And I'm going to turn on the Pandora station, shut up, and float around and see if you need help with stuff. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns? 9? Okay.